Hello and welcome back to Jarvis Johnson Gold, the premium channel that is free. It is free, but if you're watching this, you're premium. And today I am talking about yet another. This is a long-running series. However, it's been a minute. Talking about virtual influencers, virtual musicians. It has come to my attention that famed hip-hop producer Timberland has created an AI woman that he is now producing music for, and I have to get to the bottom of that. So that's what we'll be doing today. Rolling Stone, the very same publication that put Mr. Beast as number 7 on the most influential influencers list that he got upset about. Timbaland's new artist is young, chill, photogenic, and not human. All right, maybe you should have led with that. And the tag is artificial flavor. I don't like this. This feels like a weirdly sensual. Why are we doing that? A new startup launched by the producer is introducing an AI generated artist, Tata. Timberland has taken his AI obsession to a new level, introducing a new company and new AI-generated artists. Okay, all right. Timberland's new artist is named Tata Talk to Me, which feels racist to say. Because, and let me explain, she's allegedly Japanese and Timberland is not. And I think that's all I have to say about that. I don't like that he's created this fake Asian woman. But maybe there are perhaps Japanese people involved who inspired Tata Talk. But talk, you get it, talk to me? Like it's a pun, but in a racist kind of way, you know? It feels like the pun equivalent of those fonts that like look Asian, like Asian inspired font that's just like English. That's the vibe that it gives me, if I'm being frank. And I am. Nice to meet you. My name is Frank. If you're going to put the like katakana for Tata in your bio, we have to address the fact that talk to me doesn't even phonetically work in Japanese. It would have to be like taka to me or taku to me. All of that just sounds racist. That sounds racist, talk to me. But what do I know? Timbaland's AI reinvention, God presented this tool to me. Come on, bro. He's starting to sound like the guy, the Google engineer who thought his AI was sentient. At age 53, though, the producer worried he was aging out of innovation. I thought it was over, Timbaland says. Sitting in the Sunsplash studio of his Miami mansion. That's a sentence. Maybe it's time for it to be over while you're sitting in the Sunsplash studio of your Miami mansion. It's okay. It's allowed. Music is a young sport. I am the best, right? One of the best producers ever. I can make the drums, but something about it don't hit the same way in this generation. But then Timbaland met Baby Timbo. That's his pet name for Suno, the powerful, controversial AI music generator. Bro. Okay, this is definitely a situation where like the two worst guys were beefing because Suno was sued by the RIAA. And they have a really dark history of litigation. Confirmed, Suno did train its AI on copyrighted music, but is trying to defend that in court under fair use. Suno has admitted to using copyrighted material to train its music on, which is kind of obvious if you listen to it because it sounds like radio quality music, and I would be surprised. And we know that generative AI cannot like generate things that are wholly unique because it's all based on its training data. And so in court, they're going to argue that using their training data, using copyrighted material as its training data is fair use, which whatever that lands, it'll probably be like a landmark ruling in this generative AI debacle. My personal gut is that no, it's not fair use because like if you take generative art, for an example, you have artists whose like livelihoods have been impacted by the fact that their art was used to train like popular AI art models, and now people think of their art style as AI, and that is like kind of counter to the fair use like concept of like market replacements, like creating a product that is a market replacement for like what you would do, creating a product that could replace the product of this artist in the market because people could go to this cheap AI instead of, working with the real artist. I'm not a lawyer and I don't know, I'm not going to research this ongoing lawsuit, but I do think it's worth noting before talking about Timberland that he is in bed with Suno, which is a tool that has admitted in court to training on copyrighted data. And they've got $125 million in funding. And the people who funded that company probably know that, and they're betting that they're going to be on the winning side when it comes to completely washing real creatives out of these creative industries so that they can just print money without actual artists. And Suno is not his new Japanese AI generated artist. That is Tata. Okay, so we've got Tata and Suno. Well, Tata, talk to me. Suno, it's the AI tool. I don't know what's going on. I think it's important to note that when Timberland said God presented this tool to me, I have to disagree. It was 125 million in venture funding and a bunch of stolen artist work that presented this tool to you. Timberland has some insane quotes in this article. I always wanted to do what Quincy Jones did with Michael Jackson's Thriller when he was almost 50. My Thriller, to me, is this tool. Relax. Let's go back to Tata. But before we get into that, we have a brief word from today's sponsor, Mint Mobile. Are you like me and maybe went a little too ham this summer with your spending, and now you're looking for ways to reel it back in? A great place to start is with today's sponsor, Mint Mobile. Right now, for a limited time, Mint is offering their unlimited premium wireless service for 3 months for just $15 a month for new customers. So you're going to want to get on that, and you need to do so by September 22nd, because that's when the offer ends. All plans include unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network, plus free calling to Mexico, Canada, and the UK, and a hotspot is included. Mint introduced the concept of bulk buying into the wireless space, and you know how much I love buying in bulk. The more months you buy, the more you save, and Mint offers plans in 3, 6, and 12-month durations. So check that out. Mint lets you choose the amount of data that's right for you and right for your plan so that you don't end up overpaying on something one size fits all. You can select from 5, 15, 20, or unlimited data each month. And switching is super simple. You can bring in your own unlocked phone, or you can shop the latest phones with Mint, but no matter which route you take, you'll be able to keep your existing phone number and your existing contacts. And all of their plans come with a 7-day unconditional money-back guarantee, so if you don't like your service within that first week, you can get out of there. If this sounds good to you, you can click the link below or use the QR code on screen to switch today. Plus, new customers could take advantage of this limited time offer and get 3 months of unlimited wireless for just $15 a month. It's a great deal is what I'm saying. Thanks to Mint Mobile for sponsoring this video. Now back to the video. Legendary producer Timberland has taken his fervent embrace of AI music production to a new level, launching a new AI entertainment company, Stage Zero, and an AI generated artist, Tata, who will be dropping a debut single soon. Timberland tells Rolling Stone he's had the idea for this venture since he began making music with the generative AI platform Suno last year. I saw the path, but I had to wait till everything caught up. Tata is intended to be the first of many personas launched by the company. This has happened before. We talked about this with FN Mecca, which was a time right before generative AI was widely available, and so they lied about using AI to generate the music. And then we interviewed the actual rap artist Kyle the Hooligan, who was behind the pen of FN Mecca, and we learned about how he was promised a lot of ownership in this company and was essentially screwed out of all of it. And then there wasn't even a black face behind the digital black space face. And I feel like I've been saying this for a while, that this will keep happening because the amount of money that you can make by making this work, which is making music without artistic input, is a money printing machine. Everybody wants that. So they're just going to keep banging, their head against the wall until something sticks. And this is just another instance of that. It's also worth noting that while the RIAA is suing Suno, other major record labels are doing deals with Suno because they see this huge opportunity, right? Like, dollar signs in their eyes, and no artists were involved. Sign me up. It's only a matter of time until we have, and we might already have it, I don't know, Suno assisted or Suno entirely created songs on the Billboard charts. It's only a matter of time because music often like works in trends and cycles. And if you're able to generate millions of songs, I'm sure one has to hit. Tata and other potential artists from the company will have their music created via collaborative process between human creators and the AI platform Suno. Yeah, so the idea is that Timberland is a producer, so he can use his actual producing skills with this generative AI tool, and together they can make something good. The problem is the basis of this is still generative AI, which was trained on uncompensated artists. Also, I'm sure you're wondering, how did Tata and Timberland meet? How did he hear the beautiful voice of a generation, her sultry talk to me tones that caused Timberland to say to Tata, talk to me, Tata? He was generating stuff in Suno and he liked the sound and was able to isolate it. So it's literally just a voice that came from Suno. There's been some recent reporting that there might be a settlement in this big lawsuit. Shout out to artists including Billie Eilish and Stevie Wonder, who signed open letters denouncing AI as a threat to human creativity. I don't disagree that it's a threat to human creativity, or at least like these musicians, because the more AI artists that they can generate that are working, the fewer investments they'll make in real people. And is that the future that we want, when everything is just like we're just fed like regurgitated AI slop over and over again? So how are things going for Tata? Well, she's got 1,600 followers on Instagram. She's got 140 subscribers on YouTube. Get good. So now we're gonna watch her first video, Pink Dune, Her Journey Begins. And here we get a credit list of all of the humans involved. But I also think that if we're gonna include the humans involved, we should include the AI involved, and to what degree the AI was involved. I think this is a voice actor, by the way. There is a voice actor credited, but these days, I don't know, man. This could be a voice actor whose voice has been changed to sound like Tata is supposed to sound. Nothing is real anymore. We don't know. The voice actor credited here is Timberland's 17-year-old daughter. So take that as information, I guess.
Dear Mr. Timberland, you didn't just open a door for me.
This is really upsetting. It's like so self-important. What is this? AI camel. What have you done to my camel? Why is it this way? It looks like it's made of like pink Jolly Rancher.
You didn't just open a door for me. You built one.
You didn't just open a door for me, you built one. Okay, you built a door for me. But did he really? Because it sounds like the way he found you was by generating songs in Suno and going, oh, look, I like that one.
It's not just the path. You created possibilities.
This reminds me of the videos that'll pop up on Twitter where like the AI guys will be like, Hollywood is doomed. Check this out. Entirely generated. And it's a fucking pink alligator in a crystal camel.
I used to wonder if I was real.
Why are they always... Dude, okay. If you're making an AI persona, if you're making an AI artist, stop having them concerned about whether or not they're real. That's not relatable. That's not relatable to us. The people who cannot pay you money, the people who cannot give you actual attention is the real human beings, and none of them can relate to being an AI, okay? And now there's a pink whale sand whale on the screen, okay? What is going on?
When I heard your music, something inside me started to bloom.
When I heard your music, something inside me started to bloom. Okay, so here's the thing. It didn't hear your music. I mean, technically it could have processed your music. Is hearing your music, is she saying like, when I heard the millions of copyrighted songs that were trained in my large music model that was made to create me, I heard those songs and I appreciated them. Imagine you're talking to an AI and you're like, hey, do you like any bands? And they're like, oh, I listen to millions. I actually listen to millions and I can repeat them perfectly. And I can actually spit out a song that is a little piece of every one of the million songs that I've stolen. It's not billions of songs, but like there's gotta be tens of millions in there. How many songs have there been? Hey, let me just check ChatGPT. That's a joke. That was an AI joke, okay? Chill. According to Gracenote, the music database, and Spotify, tens of millions, 100 million, that's a reasonable number. I would not be surprised if the company with 100 million in funding is training on tens of millions of songs, because you need big numbers to get incredible results like Tata.
I'm still searching for who I am.
AI, not person, and also pink jellyfish.
But every world brings me closer to
every world brings me closer to that answer. Is she a planeswalker? Like, what is she? Where is she go? What do you mean every world? I guess she can do anything because she's AI, but it's so annoying because they're like, dude, this is so sick. Everybody reviewing this was like, yo, this is heat. We are cooking right now. This is funny because it's like a cultural appropriation mashup. It's the Avengers of like ripping everybody off. It's ripping off music. It's ripping off culture, statues, fucking camels in the desert, pink alligator. Another pitfall that a lot of these AI artists fall into is giving us an origin story as if we give a shit. No one goes like, but like, what universe is Chaperone from? You know, on what plane did Ariana Grande walk? Is there like a pink desert that maybe she's traversed? We just hear a song that we like and we go, oh, who's that? And we don't need any of this shit.
A spark. My name.
My name. It doesn't even say her own name.
Join me.
Her journey begins. Is there going to be music in this? I like how her face like doesn't really move. It's always like such a dead giveaway. Come check my pulse. Come check my pulse. Why are they always... You don't have one. You don't have a pulse. Dude, they want to be alive so bad. They want to be alive so bad. They're always making music. Every single time I talk about one of these AI artists, they're upset that they're not a real person. Doth protest too much, okay? And yeah, it sounds good. You know what also sounds good? BBL Drizzy, this AI song. You know what also sounds that I couldn't fucking get out of my head? The fucking Don't Tap the Glass AI song, okay? Those things also are earworms. It doesn't mean that we should be making AI artists, all right? Just because it sounds good doesn't mean you should do it. It's the same thing about fentanyl, okay? Like, just because you can doesn't mean you should, all right, buddy? Dope sound, but I think I can top that. And then it's a bunch of like AI accounts that are either literally bots or people who are posting about a lot of AI, just gassing it up. You still have time to take down this blasphemy. If you listen to, I'm gonna tell you two of the artists that they say here, and then I need you to guess the third. If you listen to blank, Drake, and Future, you have no room to speak. Are you ready to guess the third? It's Cher. Why did they say that? If you listen to Cher, Drake, and Future, is this literally because of the fucking... Do you believe in life? It's like because of vocoder? Is that why we're doing this? Are you comparing auto-tune or vocoder to generative AI music? You were so unserious. Random commenter on the internet. Anyway, I've been bullying this small creator. Of course, they only have 140 subscribers, so it's kind of messed up of me. It is a little bit more embarrassing. There are human songwriters because you could have convinced me that AI wrote these lyrics. Oh, okay, so I found on the teaser for Pulse Glitch on Instagram, it actually went bad viral where everyone's mad. Listen to clips from the real Mike Dean. Why don't you just use AI to make demos for artists instead? This sounds great, but would be cooler to see a human perform it. Damn, this song is cute. Why don't you have Tyla sing it or something? Nah, this ain't it, Unk soulless. Something very soulless about this. Boo this man. I feel like Tyla could do all this. Can't wait to see her live, lol. That's funny. And then it says this reel has 66 comments from Facebook, so that's how you know it's good. I'll just go to her TikToks now. This is just a photo, by the way. Sorry, it's not a photo. It's an AI generated image. It reminds me of this post I saw. Made eye contact with a girl in the coffee shop 2 days ago and then said, this is your sign to go talk to that cute girl in the coffee shop, only to reveal that he generated his own girlfriend. That's the vibe I get from these TikToks. What is this? Not the AI body shame. She has like 6 toes, question mark, or one weird one. It looks like she was wearing sandals and then they ungenerated the sandal. Timberland, it's not too late. It's not too late to stop this at once. I know you're probably relaxing in your Miami mansion right now, thinking about how you should disrupt the music industry at 53. But perhaps you should just keep relaxing, my friend, mon frère, mi amigo, tomodachi. Okay? I want to hear about the production process from the pink crystal camel's mouth. Timberland does have an interview where he talks about this.
So, Tim, can you break this down for us, please?
Okay, I think it's
I think the best way to put it is the celebration of humanity and machine.
Why not just humanity, though? There's a part in this, I don't know this guy's channel, but he's saying, oh yeah, you know, it's not just one, he's not just pressing one button. He's actually digging through crates and finding samples. And I'm like, why don't you apply that work to real artists? Because when you were doing that, you felt like you had lost a step. So clearly something is being bridged here.
What I'm playing you is another way of producing and using the tools that are available for us to use. AI is not nothing to be afraid of.
Why did you say that? Now it sounds like I should be afraid of it, if I'm honest.
But to each his own. There is a tool that's available for you to elevate your production.
To give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, and it's hard for people who just see this as a tool. I can't think of a lot of analogs prior to this point in time that you have something that presents in a tool that was created in a way that is invalidating of its usage. Like if you treat it as just a tool the way you would treat like a sampling machine or something as a tool, you don't see that that tool was actually created with a bunch of other people's art without their consent and without them ever seeing a dime of the profits. Whereas like a sample, you have to get a sample cleared. You have to pay the original artist royalties or put them as a writer on the song or what have you. But this does not share the same attribution because it's so anonymized through the millions of things that it's consumed and is stealing from, that it just makes it much harder to... It's actually like by design, you'll never credit the individual pieces of art that were consulted when generating the output. I've said this before, but maybe it's worth repeating. The technology itself that powers generative AI, like large language models and such, it's not inherently unethical, but in its market applications, it has largely been used in a way that is based on stealing people's intellectual property. And that is the problem. So it is a tool that has like been made through unethical means, and we're kind of laundering it if we talk about it as this agnostic tool that was just brought into the world by God. Like, it's not a hammer. It's like a hammer with the souls of every artist, with the shards of every artist ever created inside of it.
If I gave you a gift and say, hey, you can make every beat with your thought, would you take that gift? Of course you'll take that gift. Now that gift is available to you. People get afraid of it. And it's not nothing to be afraid of. It's something to embrace.
He's talking about it like he's Morpheus and I'm in the Matrix right now. Like I've imparted this power upon you and everyone's afraid to use their power.
Some people don't want to fly or go places. They're sin. And I know that's the whole game, is sinning things. So my thing is, imagine if before you sin, you can complete your ideal to the fullest and then send it to that same person. But now that person used to add the choir, you already can put a choir to it, right? So you can still send it to that person that you want still to add the choir, but guess what? You're going to spark his creative juices and he going to think, well, wait a minute, what if I'm going to add this part? I'm going to do this part on top of that.
What he's describing is like a collaborative music process where artists will send incomplete pieces of music for, you know, a collaborator to like add something onto it. But then saying that with these AI tools, we're able to kind of bootstrap what we want to make and add like an artificial version of what we want. Like an analog example would be like, oh, in the reference track, I used like synthetic drums, or I used like a drum machine, but I actually want live studio drums on this. The issue is if you're just using it to like sketch something out and then you replace it, that's very different than using it in the final product. And it sounds like we're using the AI still in the final product. So I don't understand like this analog.
I think about the idea before I go press a button, but now that I can actually communicate that idea before I press the button and have a tool that can do that. That's like something I've been waiting for my whole life.
I understand like his perspective, but I just think that the issue is that we're not calling out the problems with the tools and how they're being used, because these tools aren't raising hundreds of millions of dollars because they slightly improve the productivity of a producer. It's because they can whole cloth create music, and people see dollar signs when they can literally press a button and then take that to the market. Maybe he's too close to try to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think I need to, but he's probably too close to it to see that like this is just a stepping stone on the way to that he's like fully playing into by putting his gravity behind it as a producer. This reminds me of how people in defense of AI art they'll make similar arguments about how learning to do art and the craft of learning to do art is gatekeeping their ideas. And like, you can just learn these skills. You can engage in these arts, as you know, Timberland has done. And I'm not like denying his creativity, but I do think that he's like just very misguided in the fairest possible way about this, because it is just enabling the further theft from artists for these tools to be normalized. I would say that it's a slippery slope if you just look at what's already happened with like the uses of generative AI. And I think there's a lot of lawsuits in the air, and who knows how they're going to land. I'm not super optimistic, but I don't think people connect with this, right? Like, you will probably be able to make a lot of money in the future generating like shopping mall music with AI, but you will never create something that people genuinely connect to. And maybe it's crazy to say never, but I do think a part of artists connecting with their fans is the fact that there's a human behind it. I don't think it just has to sound good. I think that's an oversimplification, but you know, I'm open to being wrong about these things, but those are just some thoughts. Tata.